Hey! Hi everybody! It's been a minute since I've uploaded here on the channel, but I'm Siah. Welcome back. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. If you're Christian, Merry Christmas. If you're Jewish, Happy Hanukkah. If you're neither, I hope you enjoy your couple weeks off of school or your couple days off of work. That sounds nice. Spider-Man. I was going to say Far From Home. Spider-Man No Way Home is coming out tomorrow, hopefully, as of when I'm releasing this video. I'm releasing this video on Wednesday, because I'm going to be seeing Spider-Man No Way Home on Thursday, late afternoon. I just wanted to say, yay! I'm excited! This video is my Spider-Man memories. I'm going to go through everything about Spider-Man that I've seen ever since I was a little kid to show how much this means to me. I know this isn't the end of Tom Holland's story, but this is probably going to be the biggest Spider-Man movie of all time, so it's pretty important. And it's pretty noteworthy that we talk about it, because I feel like Spider-Man is going to be fundamentally different from here on out. So we're going to be talking about the comics that I didn't read, the TV shows that I watched a couple years too late, the movies that I was a little kid when they came out. So let's get into it, starting with my birth. No, we don't have to go that far back. We have to go back to around 2007, which was when I was introduced to a show called Spider-Man. I was about 4 years old, and I was going through my PBS block on whatever channel it was, and I stumble across Spider-Man. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know how it worked. I hadn't even seen the X-Men show that kind of is in the same universe. But I saw Spider-Man, and I loved it. I remember watching every episode when I was a little kid. I didn't understand how it worked. I didn't understand the meaning behind, like, oh, this is how important these characters are to each other, blah, blah, blah. I had no idea. I was 4. But I remember that I loved Spider-Man from that show. That show means everything to me, because it was just the greatest. And it was just so much fun to watch. It was gut-wrenching. It was just a good show. Except for Michael Morbius. That guy was creepy. He had his little hand sucker things. He had little holes in his hands because they couldn't show blood. So he would say, "I want to take your plasma," instead of blood. And he couldn't actually bite people because that would be like, oh, vampire, ah. So he would, he had little holes on his hands, and he would put his hand on your face, like this, and you'd go, and then you didn't die. You were unconscious. You were fine, actually. That's how it worked. And for years, I was terrified of that. I still am. I'm like, if someone has holes in their hands, I'll probably shoot them on the spot. Actually, I think that's the rule with holes in your hands. No holes, or hands, or holes on hands, or hands in holes. No, none of that. But I loved the show. I loved it. I loved it so much. It was like the greatest show ever. Kind of. I didn't really understand it at the time. Fast forward a couple months later, to a year later, I think it's early 2008, when Spider-Man 3 comes out on video. I didn't go see it in the theater. I was too little. Seriously, you're going to take your kid, you're going to take your 5-year-old kid to go see a PG-13 movie? Okay, this was 2008, alright? We weren't doing that. Now, you'll take your fucking baby to go see Deadpool 3 if you wanted to, or to go see The Conjuring. Pretty sure babies who don't see The Conjuring when they're born are fucking weenies in life. Actually, I think they're weenies because they saw The Conjuring as kids. But whatever, that's beside the point. So, my dad decides to take me through the Spider-Man marathon. He knows that I love Spider-Man. That Spider-Man is my favorite. He's my favorite superhero. I want to be Spider-Man for my birthday. It was great. So I see Spider-Man 1. And honestly, I don't really remember that first viewing of Spider-Man 1. I know we didn't see them back to back. I know there was like a spacing. So my memories in life start right around the time where I see the Spider-Man show for the first time. I don't remember anything surrounding it. But I remember, yes, I can place this time period as when I saw this show for the first time. And I can't exactly do that for Spider-Man 1. I don't know why. But it's a blank for me. But I do know how I felt about it. I thought that movie was great. I was like, wow, this is such a good movie. I don't even know what movies are. I can't wrap my head around the idea of what a movie is. But I'm still like, yes, greatest movie ever. And then a couple months later, he shows me Spider-Man 2. And I was smitten from the very moment it began. Spider-Man 2 is one of the few sequels that is like the greatest thing of all time. Okay? It blows the original out of the water. The original was great to start with, but Spider-Man 2 is just a level of perfection for me. It's like the villain is like the most sympathetic guy. The hero is like having to deal with normal issues. The damsel in distress sucks, but that's okay. That's beside the point. No one really cares about that point. The train fight is my favorite cinematic sequence in history. Like, and I think that's why Spider-Man means so much to me. Spider-Man 2 is the reason why I want to be a filmmaker. That's pretty much where it all comes from. Just Spider-Man 2. And it's really it just changed my life. It's really weird to say, like, yes, when I was a kid I saw this movie and it changed my life. But it did. And just that's the one memory where I can remember, like, yes, seeing this for the first time. Wow. I didn't even understand how characters worked. Okay, I was 5 or 6 years old or whatever. I didn't understand. I couldn't wrap my head around the idea of good writing. I could barely write my name with the J's backwards still. But it just worked. It was great. It was brilliant. It was spectacular. Cut to a couple months later. And this is the first Spider-Man movie that I genuinely remember the viewing of. Like, I remember where I was and how I felt in the moment as opposed to later on. Spider-Man 3 fucking terrified me as a kid. I thought Venom was like the scariest shit in the world. I didn't see Spider-Man 3 for 10 years after that first viewing. I shit you not. It wasn't until late 2019 when I saw that movie again. I've seen Spider-Man 2 hundreds of times. I've seen the original Spider-Man hundreds of times. I've only seen Spider-Man 3 maybe like 3 times in my entire life. The first time when I was a kid, the second time, which was basically like the first time in 2019, and then I did a Spider-Man marathon over quarantine last year, and I saw it again. Spider-Man 3 is my least favorite of the trilogy. It's not bad. It's whatever. It's no masterpiece like the original or the sequel, but it's not bad. I've seen much worse movies out there. I thought Venom was terrifying, and I don't know why. Actually, yes, I do know why. He scared me because of his teeth. His teeth were just so weird. Like, I saw Venom in the animated Spider-Man movie, or Spider-Man, not movie, TV show, and it was fine. I liked Venom in that show. He was a little, but like, he was nothing compared to Morbius on the scale. But in the movie, I don't know. There was just something about him that was just so off-putting. You know what it was? If he talked like Venom, he would be much better. Okay? When he's in the suit, when he's like tracking down Sandman, and he's looking at him like, I want to kill the spider. You want to kill the spider. He's talking like Eddie Brock. Don't. No. Okay? When the symbiote's in control, the symbiote talks. Okay? You hear the, I want to kill the spider. You want to kill the spider. Actually, you wouldn't even say I. It would say we. We want to kill the spider. You want to kill the spider. That's much better than, I want to kill the spider. You want to kill the spider. No! That sucks. And it's so freaky. Like, imagine if LeBron James, big buff guy, alright, walks down the hall, and then he bumps into you, and you don't say anything, because you're really scared of him. He turns around, he's like, excuse me, man. So, I'm editing this video days later, and I just realized now that, like, that was a really dumb example, because that was my Mike Tyson impression. Mike Tyson is literally a big black dude who talks like this, and it's really off-putting. I should have used that as an example, because it's actually happened. So that was the Spider-Man trilogy for me. It was scary, but I still love it. And I'm not afraid anymore of Venom. A little bit. Still a little bit. Still afraid of Morbius, but that's okay. Fast forward, I never saw Spectacular Spider-Man, by the way. I never saw that. I didn't see it literally until this year, and I haven't finished it yet. I'll get to it eventually. Eventually! I picked back up in 2012. I am 9 years old, and The Amazing Spider-Man comes out. And I don't go see it in theaters. I'm 9 years old. I don't really want to, for some reason. But I see it when it comes out on DVD. Yes, we still had DVDs at the time, okay? And I thought it was fine. I liked it. I was like, oh, cool. Who's this guy? Did Tobey Maguire just, like, get a lot more handsome and get better hair? Okay, that's fine. I thought it was Spider-Man 4 for a minute. I was very confused. And then didn't really have many thoughts on that. Cut to The Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's the first movie that I see in theaters. Not first movie, but first Spider-Man movie that I see in theaters. And I saw it for my birthday. Yeah, what a great birthday present. In 2014, so I was 11? Yeah, 11th birthday. And, I loved it. I thought it was great. At the time. At the time, alright, I thought it was great. Even now, actually, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 has a soft spot for me just because it was the first Spider-Man movie I saw in theaters. It's not good, but it has a soft spot in my heart. It really does. So I see that movie, and I get all excited, and I'm all like, yay! I want to watch movies now! And that's pretty much where the story leaves off on Spider-Man movies for the time. I didn't really read too many comics, but after that, after The Amazing Spider-Man 2 comes out, I go on a Spider-Man hiatus. I don't really see anything new, do anything, except for one thing. Ultimate Spider-Man. I fucking love that show. That show defined, like, Disney XD for me at the time, okay? It was... The first 2 seasons of that show are pretty good. After that, it goes like, Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six, Ultimate Spider-Man, Web Warriors, Ultimate Spider-Man, Edges of Time. That's a game. But really, like, it was weird. It got too weird. And I saw the show, the whole thing again recently. And I was like, wow, the first 2 seasons of this are pretty good. I'll even go 3 seasons. The first 3 seasons are fine. But after that, it just gets off the rails and it goes too crazy. It does, like, what I think the MCU is going to do in a couple of years. Like, get way too wild for no reason. I don't see Civil War in theaters, okay? Because I don't know. I was going through a time where I didn't really like Marvel movies. I didn't really like Marvel movies until I saw Doctor Strange, honestly. Like, I saw Iron Man, and I liked Iron Man. I didn't see the Avengers at the time. I saw Age of Ultron, and I liked it. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Pew, 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 pew. I saw Ant-Man in theaters, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Pew, 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 pew. I saw Doctor Strange in theaters for some reason. Actually, no, I didn't see Doctor Strange in theaters. I saw Doctor Strange at home, and I was like, whoa, what is this MCU thing? Yeah, I was like 5 years late to the party with that. So I skipped that. And then I saw Homecoming in theaters, I think, actually. And I liked it. I thought it was fine. I was like, that's good. I'd already seen Civil War, like, on video after the fact. So I see Homecoming, and I'm like, that's good. Good Peter. Different than I thought it would be. It's fine. I see him in Infinity War, I'm like, hey, there's my Peter. Woohoo! I see him in Endgame, I'm like, yay, Peter! And I see him in Far From Home, and I'm like, no, Peter! At the time, I liked it. I really did. And it's weird. Whenever I see a movie, the first time I see a movie, most of the time I like it. It's very hard. You have to really fuck up in order for me, upon first viewing, to not at least enjoy myself. Even if the movie's bad, upon first viewing where I'm watching with everyone else, with no pause, no rewind, no pause to, like, ponder my thoughts, that's when it's like, I'm too busy to think. So it's like, whatever. You can pretty much, like, just throw a bunch of crap on the screen. As long as you're better than, like, the Emoji Movie, I'll probably enjoy myself. Oh, I forgot about Spider-Verse. I saw Spider-Verse 2 in theaters. I thought that was great. That's the best Spider-Man movie so far. That one right there. It's really good. So I see Far From Home, and I'm like, I like it. Kind of. It has a lot of problems, but it's nothing No Way Home can't fix. So that's pretty much it. That's my Spider-Man journey, basically. I thought it would be a lot more interesting than it ended up being. So we're going to turn this into a No Way Home predictions video. So No Way Home, here are ways that it could fuck it up or get it good. It could fuck it up by having bad writing, for starters. That goes for any movie, actually. But if you turn Sandman into evil for no reason, if you turn the Lizard into evil for no reason, if you turn Doc Ock into evil for no reason, if you turn Electro into evil for no reason, then it's like, whatever, okay? That would suck. The only one who's actually evil for no reason is the Goblin, okay? And he's only evil because he's a crazy person. Everyone else has at least something up there. I don't like the idea of the Goblin changing his costume. Because, like, although I get it, it makes sense. You know, like, Jamie Foxx changed his whole look for Electro because being blue sucks. And Doc Ock was de-aged, and the Lizard looks different. But that Goblin costume's iconic. Yeah, it looks like a fucking Power Ranger, but at least it's something. It's not like... I like the OG costume, where it's like a mask that he pulls over. But it's like... It's weird, if you really think about it. Like, there's no way any normal person can put on a mask and be that expressive underneath the mask. Like, the Goblin mask in Spider-Man works. Like, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man with Willem Dafoe, who's my favorite actor, by the way. Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin works because the mask is stupid. But he can't really emote if you have, like, the leather mask, or, not leather. If you have, like, the... who's it? The pullover mask. Because, like, it's covering his face like this. But you're able to see his eyes. So it would look like this. And then he has, like, teeth. See like this. So it'd be like this. But, like, cover the rest of his face. That would be weird. So I understand why they went for the Power Ranger look. And although I love Norman Osborn, like Willem Dafoe's Norman Osborn, there's supposed to be a really big difference between Norman Osborn and the Goblin. They're supposed to be two different people. So if you are looking at the Goblin and you can see Norman Osborn the whole time, it gets weird. It's very confusing. Like, that's what made the climax of Spider-Man so good, because when he pulls off the mask and you see that it's Norman Osborn, you forget that he's the Goblin for a second. Tobey Maguire forgets that he's the Goblin for a second, because you equate the two as entirely different people. So it's like, it's very weird. It's kind of like if Eddie Brock's Venom just Eddie Brock the whole time, like talking like Venom. Like if he pulls up and he's talking like Venom, but it's Eddie Brock. Doesn't make any sense, because they're supposed to be two different people who happen to share a body. You know, kind of like, well, like Goblin and Venom. But that's like the main way that they can fuck it up. So hopefully that goes well. Hopefully he gets at least some sort of like facial covering. I heard that he gets like goggles from somewhere. I don't know. It's very confusing. I saw that there's a meme going around already where like his face is like this, when he's holding a pumpkin bomb. And I find that hilarious. That is exactly what Willem Dafoe is probably going for with this movie, with this Goblin. So, who knows what will happen in the future. But, I say the future, but at the time of this movie coming out, or at the time of this video coming out, it's tomorrow. So, who knows? I'll bring a review of it for sure. And that's it, basically. I don't know. I just wanted to ramble about Spider-Man for 20 minutes. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully you like these styles of video. This is kind of what I want to go for in the future, where it's pretty much just me riffing to myself. Because, as you know, I'm a comedian now. I don't know if you know. You probably don't. But if you don't know, I'm a comedian now. And I don't really like the format that I used to have. So who knows? Hopefully this works. For those of you who care, stick around about info for the future. The Siah Gaming channel, or the Siah Unbound channel that I started up, that's just going to be Siah comedy. Whenever I give a comedy set, I'm going to upload the video to that channel. So make sure you look out for that. And also, this channel, I'm just going to be talking about stuff. So send me stuff to talk about. Send me videos to react to. Whatever works. Honestly, whatever works, works. Whatever doesn't work, well, we'll figure that out. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button and make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys when the movie comes out. I'll give my whole review. Peace. Wow.